Hey, how's it going, everyone? Today I'm checking out the new ALLDOCUBE GTBook 15 that ALLDOCUBE sent out. So this is similar to the VOCBook 15 that I checked out not too long ago, except the main difference here is that this has 12 gigs of RAM while that had 16. Here's everything that comes in the box, and this on the corner is actually just kind of a connector for the wall outlet. Depending on the country, it might vary, but for the US, this is what we have. Down here is the ALLDOCUBE logo, and really looks a lot similar to, again, the VOCBook 15 that I checked out. These off-brands might be a lot similar to each other. Again, ALLDOCUBE is not really too much of an off-brand. It is kind of well known in the market. Anyways, you got your 3 rubber tacks here, and then down here, this laptop isn't too thick or heavy. You've got some of your ports on the right side, including a micro SD card slot, which you can expand up to 128 gigs. And you've got some more slots here on the left side, including the charger, the DC charging port. That's the LED indicator to tell you whether it's on or if it's charging, USB port, HDMI, and USB-C port. On the left side, you've got some more ports here. You've got a few more LED lights here. Finally, on top, you've got the webcam, along with, I want to say, there's a microphone right next to it. Not a big fan of this camera. Usually not a fan of these in general. There is sunlight out, so that's what's facing towards me. And yeah, this is the quality of it. Man, is my hat dirty? that digress.
Today's video is brought to you by the iSteady Mobile 3-axis stabilizing gimbal for your smartphone. The gimbal comes in a hardcover case with some extra accessories, and this thing is super simple to set up. Just turn the Bluetooth on your phone and download the app. You're now able to interact with the gimbal with a few different features, including but not limited to zooming in and out, taking pictures, or switching to a video mode. Having a stabilizer like the gimbal makes your videos look much more professional and even natural, because when you're just holding up your phone, people can see your arm or even shoulder, and it doesn't look awkward, but it just looks better and more clean with the gimbal and a stabilizer.
Also, this hinge doesn't go all the way back to 180 degrees. This is like at a 120 degree angle, I want to say. Not that it really matters to me. Out of the box, you only have about 190 gigs available. This time there isn't much bloatware on here. It didn't come with the TikTok, Instagram, those other stuff that you might see in some other laptops. You're not going to be using a lot of intensive stuff on here. This is meant for more so basic stuff, but we will try some gaming and benchmarks in a second. You've got like 3 rubber tacks. The screen does look pretty decent to watch videos in full HD 1920 by 1080. Brightness is on the average side. Like, you know, somewhere between 200 to 300 nits. Nothing crazy. It might be on the slightly higher level, around the 300 range, if I were to take a kind of a wild guess here. I don't notice any problems with viewing angles, like one part's dark or one's too bright. So yeah, this is probably IPS. The speakers are not good at all. Or it might just be one speaker. Don't really know where it's emitting from. But either way, it doesn't sound great. It doesn't get loud at all, and it's just tinny. So there's nothing good about it. Another downside and possibly even deal breaker is the battery. The battery life doesn't seem to last too long. Granted, it shows you that I had this charged to 100% at 9 a.m. and I had this on for half the day, but my screen on time was about 2 hours and 33 minutes on what it says here. That's not great at all by any stretch of the imagination. In comparison, my MSI gaming laptop gets like, I want to say 3 to 4 hours of on-screen time, and that's terrible for, I mean, you can't expect too much on laptops in general, but this had a 10,000 milliamp hour battery. That actually had higher expectations for that, you know, seeing as even the OttVoc laptop, the VOCBook 15, that did better than this. No, I'm not sure if it has to do with benchmark testing, because that does kind of do a stress test on your stuff, but I don't think they were anything high-end. Really, what I used was like Cinebench, maybe a little bit here and there. Oh, I got it open right here. And here's how it performed on Cinebench. Points seem pretty low, but also I don't feel like this is a fair comparison at all down here in terms of the rankings for the CPU multi-core, because look at this, it looks really low, right? Down here it got a score of 1879, then the next highest one was the Intel i7. You can't compare the two, honestly. It makes no sense to compare both of them. In the single core scores, it's a little bit more fair. Here is some more info on CPU-Z, motherboard, memory 12 gigs. That's all we get on here. The graphics is Intel UHD. For basic tasks, I haven't noticed any delays or issues. The keyboard seems to be pretty responsive, and there is some feedback, and the trackpad actually works pretty well too. I haven't noticed any issues here, so that's a good thing, unlike the other laptop that I checked out. It works great for the most part.
First game here is Roblox, downloaded from the Windows Store, and overall it seems to work, well, I was going to say fine, but it isn't really that smooth in frame rate. I will say though that it's playable. Maybe it'll work a little bit smoother if you change the graphics. You can see for yourself how gameplay is here.
Next game I wanted to check out here is from Steam, Dark Souls 1. And I wonder if my eyes are deceiving me, because I'm seeing 30 FPS a little bit more. It's not consistent, but it's actually showing up more than the other Otvoc laptop. And I wonder if you overclock this, if it'll actually be more playable. Because, you know, if you've played Dark Souls before, you know that these games are really intense, and you can't miss a single frame. So, yeah, this kind of intrigues me a little bit, knowing that this can handle Dark Souls 1 at almost 30 FPS. So I'm not going to say that Steam games are playable now, even after overclocking, or if you do overclock it. I personally try to avoid it because, you know, it's not really good for a laptop to be overclocked versus a PC. But yeah, there is potential here. I just wish it was more playable, because you know, besides this, I have a hard time thinking about like how I'd recommend this, because obviously basic stuff works just fine, but unfortunately the battery life isn't that great, so that kind of offsets everything, because you can get the same stuff for probably less. Granted, with those more inexpensive laptops, you might not be able to play. Obviously, you're not going to be able to play Dark Souls too well. You can't really play it here either. But also, games like Roblox or other games from the Windows Store, you're probably not going to be able to play those on there, or web games. Versus on here, you can do all that stuff. Probably a little more. So I'm curious to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments down below. Is this something you'd get? Or is it something you'd pass on? Is there anything better? Love to know. As always, thanks for watching.